We're back with the second episode of the Financial Literacy and Public Enlightenment Series, brought to you by the Bankers Committee. Well, my name is Kayode, and if this is your first time on the show, this is perfect timing. Absolutely. Because over the next hour, we'll be telling you about the latest policies and funding opportunities that can help you grow your business or your personal finance. And the ultimate goal is to help you become financially. Well, today, as always, we'll be bringing you the very best brains in the financial sector, to banks and other financial service providers. Well, let's make some profit today, shall we? Oh, by the way, we are on Zoom, we're on YouTube, we're on text messaging. If you want to phone in, well, that's great. How about social media? We're there, so we're literally everywhere you can find us. But today on the show, we're going to be focusing on the lifeblood of Nigeria's economy. That's the micro, small, and medium enterprises, MSMEs. So I have this to tell you. If you belong to that category, the MSMEs category, you don't want to miss this, because we have something that can transform the way that you do business. Today we're talking Nigeria's digital currency, the eNaira, which of course has been gathering momentum, and you don't want to miss the great opportunities you get from being one of the early birds. Well, last week we focused on how this can help individuals, and this week we're switching gears. So thanks to the great team of the Bankers Committee, we're looking at how the eNaira can help you build your business. But just before I introduce you to the brilliant minds I'll be speaking with today, that's right, I have a whole team for you today. If you've got questions or comments for today's conversation, you can send them in. So I'll be telling you the numbers and the platforms with which you can reach out to us with those questions and comments, so we can have a fruitful conversation. So if you want to send in your message, the number to send in your text message to is 0909 861 5403. I repeat, the number you can send your message, questions, or comment to is 0909 861 5403. You can also call in on this number. That's when we open the phone lines, 0705 149. Taking it down, 0705 149 3324. Or you know what, let's just make it simple for you. You can head over now, as I am speaking with you, to smegrowth.ng, and you get access to all the different platforms with which you can join us on this conversation. Again, it is smegrowth.ng. You have access to all the platforms. Well, let's not take too much of your time. I'm ready for the conversation. If you are, let's meet our resource persons. We have joining us from Abuja, Mr. Zana Abubakar Gambo, who's a Principal Manager, Consumer Protection Department, Central Bank of Nigeria. Mr. Gambo, you're welcome to the program.
Thank you very much.
We also have joining us Mr. Dahosa Aimian, who's the head of the POS Business e-banking division at Fidelity Bank PLC. Mr. Aimian, it's great to have you on the program.
Thank you, Kayode.
Well, I've got two more resource persons. They also join us live from Abuja. Mr. Rashid Hassan is the head e-business at Jaiz Bank. Mr. Hassan, it's great to see you again.
Thank you very much, Kayode.
And last but not least, Mr. Okikiolu from Keystone Bank. Well, thank you for joining us as well, Mr. Okikiolu.
Yeah, thank you, Kayode. It's been a pleasure.
So, gentlemen, shall we begin? I'd like to break this down. I don't want to take it for granted that we all understand what MSMEs are all about. So, Mr. Gambo, if you could just, start this conversation with us. Who or what is an MSME? Who qualifies to be called a micro, small, or medium enterprise?
Thank you very much. The micro, small, and medium enterprises are categories of enterprises categorized in relation to their turnover or rather their asset base. Usually the asset base that is associated with medium enterprises are supposed to be at least 250 million for the asset base. Then their turnover should be somewhere around the category of 500 million. So all institutions or enterprises that are within those categories are being categorized as MSMEs. They also have a limited number of employees that also is being defined. So medium and small medium enterprises are all those enterprises that qualifies within those categories. And where your capital base or your turnover is far higher than that, you can now be termed as a large-scale enterprise. But however, if your asset base and your turnover is within those thresholds, you will be considered as a medium and small enterprise. Thank you.
Wow, perfect. But let me just push this further. Mr. Oyeledo, I'd like to get your opening comments also to buttress that point. Who qualifies really as an MSME?
Okay, thank you, Kayode. Like he said, MSMEs are basically categorized, and this is based on the national category. And like you mentioned, the annual turnover, the ownership of the business age, the business assets, the structure, the staff strength, and the formal business education, and taking it down to the banking habits and the qualification for bank to finance the business. Those are basically the categories where the categories that MSMEs are being classified. Yes, they have the range, like you mentioned, in annual turnover from less than 50 million to 500 million. The ownership, yeah, mostly we see micro business people, mostly single ownership. For small, probably owned by a family, and for medium is family owned or partnership. So basically, the categories, these categories I mentioned are what applies to the classification of MSMEs.
Okay, pardon me, because we need to break this down as much as we can. So you're saying a makeup artist belongs to maybe the micro angle, right?
Yes, because a makeup artist, I presume you're mentioning, is like a sole ownership business whereby a lady or a man goes out there to make up for people, you know. So it's more likely going to be a single operation thing, or probably with an idea. So you're correct.
Okay, so makeup artist, you make shawarma, you have a restaurant, you have a little business. This conversation is for you. I just wanted us to get this out there so you know that you are at the right place. So let's move forward, gentlemen. Now that we've sort of established who or what an MSME or what MSMEs are, let's talk about the eNaira and how this can be useful for businesses in Nigeria. And this, of course, will always go back to Mr. Gambo because you have that view from the central bank. Why should an MSME adopt eNaira?
Well, the eNaira is an alternative payment platform. That's one. It's not supposed to replace the other payment platforms. It's an alternative. One of the advantages of using the eNaira for MSMEs is settlement for transactions on MSME is done immediately. If your customer comes to you as a merchant, if your customer buys anything from the shop, if you're using the POS, usually payment is going to hit your account the following day. But on the eNaira platform, as an SME or as a merchant, if the customer is coming to buy anything in the shop, you're going to get settlement immediately. And for transactions that are done on the platform, there's going to be minimal dispense errors on it because everything is being done on the platform. Reconciliations too will also be very easy using the eNaira platform. And going forward, we hope to see a lot of innovations and initiatives that is going to be brought into this technology. And those initiatives and added value additions that will be done on the platform will be advantageous to medium and small medium enterprises because the transactions, or rather this platform, is based on technology. So the MSMEs will not have to spend a lot of money on infrastructure. It's basically how you key into the technology as it is and see how what you're going to come up with, how you're going to add value on the platform for you to carry out your transactions. So all these are advantages to the medium and small enterprises. Thank you.
Right. Thank you for that. I think that's very instructive. So you can use, essentially what you're saying, you can use the eNaira as a payment platform. It's easier, it's faster, and the possibilities at this point look endless because CBN is scaling up from time to time. So that's for the payment platform. But there are people, businesses now that, they go into the merchant angle of things. They probably want to be the ones to be the middleman or middlewoman in this case between the CBN and the end user. The same as we have with, the usual, banks that have the POS arrangement. Does the eNaira also have that?
Yes, at the moment as a merchant, part of the services that can be rendered as a merchant is we have payments that go person to person. That is me as a wallet holder and as a consumer. You can send money to your wallet as a person to person transaction. Or rather, if I get to your merchant shop now, if you buy anything, that will be a person to merchant transaction. And as a merchant, you can buy things from another merchant. That's like a merchant's wallet, from a merchant's wallet to another merchant's wallet. Then again, the merchant can also make a transfer of eNaira to a customer. So merchants can also serve as cash out points. That is going forward. You can approach a customer, can approach the merchant after he has bought some things from the merchant. Merchant can serve as an agent for him to cash out his transactions if you want to convert his eNaira to actual Naira. So all these are possibilities, transactions the merchant can carry out. You can do transactions to another merchant, you can do transactions to another customer as a person. And then he can also serve as a cash out point for the consumer. So all these are advantages for the services that the merchants can render.
Right, I think that's the term I was looking for, agency banking. And I think you've spoken to that, but let's explore and go to Mr. Ahimian. And also, if you were to be speaking to a small business owner, a micro business owner, scale it up that way, what would you be telling them regarding the benefits of the eNaira? The eNaira has been around for quite some time. Yes, we're scaling up gradually, but it seems even for businesses that you'd expect they have that information, they don't know those benefits. So aside making it easier, making payment faster and all that, what are some other benefits I, as a business person, can get from the eNaira?
Okay, thank you, Kayode. Okay, most of this micro, small, and medium business, they're already used to POS. And one of the things they always complain about is the charges and the network issues. And so most times they're really troubled, and when network is down, maybe the infrastructure is down, and they're like, what else can I use? That's where eNaira come in. Sometimes they complain of charges that, man, I'm getting so little profit from this business. But here is eNaira. eNaira gives you almost as zero cost as a small or a medium enterprise. So apart, I know reconciliation, instant settlement has been mentioned. Again, I think these are key. We should not just look at it as, it's a surface thing. Okay, there is instant settlement, reconciliation issues, less reconciliation issues. The major setbacks for the small and medium enterprise have always been three key things. Instant settlement. POS is T+1, and any fintech or anybody, even a bank, providing you same day or instant settlement come at an extra charge. So you have the industry standard of 0.5 capped at 1,000 for POS, for example, even for the NQR. You see, but for if you want to do it instant, you have to wait, you have to pay extra. But here is eNaira, it's straight through, less network issues, instant value, and then you are able to make more profits. Because really, setting up a small business is not a charitable organization, or most business are not charitable organizations that just want to fulfill. It's more to the profit, to the bottom line. And so the concern should be, how can I benefit the most in terms of reducing my cost? And eNaira answers that for everyone. And the good thing or the beauty of what the banks are doing right now is to expose it to the customers. because recently I went around the country and I asked some questions on this. You know, why are people not using eNaira on your platform? The guy, and some of the feedback I got was, it's not exposed. I can't even find it on my mobile app. But what bankers or what the banks are doing now is to expose it, to make it very open to customers. So as a small and medium enterprise, don't be surprised when you start seeing your customers requesting for eNaira, because they also know the reliability and dependability of this platform. Because most banks are beginning to expose it, put it at the forefront so that you can easily know where it is on your mobile app. And then they begin to ask, please, I want to use the eNaira. So it's very, very necessary for all small and medium enterprise to quickly, jump to it so that you are exposed to more customers, less cost to you. And I think with that, you can grow your business, take it from micro to small and then to medium, even beyond that. But you just have to start this level, yeah.
Right, so essentially you need to join this moving train. You don't want to be left behind. And I like the way you put it, because this is the future and you can actually step into the future today. Let me take this to Mr. Hassan. I imagine the question, by the way, we're getting questions already across platforms from Zoom, the email service, and all of that. We'll take your questions, definitely, so keep them coming. Of course, we'll get to take calls as well. But Mr. Hassan, so I imagine the business owner thinking, wow, I've been missing out all this while. I need to hop on this as soon as possible. How can I do it as a business owner? How can I get enrolled in this eNaira matter? It looks so good. I don't want to be left out. So tell us.
Oh, thank you very much, Kai. As a business owner, what you just need to do is download the eNaira Speed Wallet. If you're an Android user, that's from the Google Play Store, or an iOS user, that's from Apple Play Store. You go onto the store to download the eNaira Speed Wallet. On downloading the eNaira Speed Wallet, you go to the login page. On the login page, you see Create e-wallet. On Create e-wallet, you see consumer and merchant. So as a merchant, you select merchant, then you see various banks that are available. Then you choose your bank. After choosing your bank, then you enter your business information. Then you can start making use of the eNaira, wallet from there. After doing that, all the banks now on their mobile app, they have the eNaira wallet as the menu on their mobile app. So from there, after creating your wallet, you can link it to, it's already linked to your mobile app from all the banks in the country today. So from there, you can actually log on, and do transaction. So you can easily move funds from your bank account to your wallet and start transaction from your eNaira wallet. So basically, merchants, and most of the challenges merchants in having payment options. eNaira has actually given merchants another option to actually make payments as well as receive payment. So they have the POS, they have the payment gateways as well, and they also have the eNaira. And eNaira is quite cheaper. No cost attached to it at all. It's convenient, it's flexible. Going by the technology that actually supports eNaira, which is actually the blockchain technology, which is actually super fast, reliable in terms of dispute resolution as well. You are rest assured that is in terms of dispute resolution,
right.
It comes with ease. So you won't have any issue.
I mean, it sounds very good. And again,
you won't have any issue with
I'd like to reiterate
to resolution.
I mean, this is all straightforward. This is no strings attached, as easy as they say. But please help me understand this. I know that with bank accounts, there are different tiers. different kinds of accounts, with normal accounts, with normal Naira accounts. Is that the same for eNaira, or all businesses just have the same account? Essentially, and that will be for Mr. Ayorinde.
Okay, for consumers, on eNaira, we have both the consumer and the merchants. On the consumer, we have the tiers, which is only tier 1, tier 2, and tier 3. For the merchants are actually not tiered. So it's not tiered at all for the merchants. So all the merchants actually enjoy the same benefits.
Okay. Let's try to touch on another issue then.
Okay.
So moving on. Well, there's a question here also that I'd like to take up. If you can hear me. And this is from Yamba Lawrence. Okay, I think that's simple. I think you can answer that. Can I move from eNaira to a bank account? I think you talked about that. So let me move on. I'll come to you in a moment. But the question about getting loans, because with businesses in Nigeria, financing is very important. So through the eNaira platform, is it possible, or how easy is it to access loans? Oh, that's for Mr. Gambo, by the way.
Yeah, I've been echoing. Could you repeat that question again? The studio is a bit, sound is a bit echoing. Did you get the question?
Okay, the question is, how easy is it to access loans on the eNaira platform? Because for MSMEs, I mean, they need financing. And I imagine that with eNaira, with ease in payment, does it come with ease in accessing the loans and all that too?
Okay, as it is, on the eNaira platform itself, you can go and access loan, at least not at the moment. Is an alternative to the cash you're holding. It's just a digital form of the cash you're holding. Now, if you go to your ATM now, probably withdraw 10,000 and put it inside your wallet. If you open an eNaira wallet and keep 10,000, it is one and the same. It's just the cash for the eNaira is in a digital form. However, you can get a loan from a bank, and you can ask the bank to convert it either to eNaira, which give you the loan in eNaira you want, or after it's been credited to your account, you convert it to eNaira. And again, at the moment, but going forward, we see a situation where interventions either by the government or by the central bank can also be paid through the eNaira. But on the eNaira platform itself, you can go in and apply for a loan. It's just an alternative cash, but in a digital form. So that is the difference between the cash you're holding and then the eNaira wallet that you have. One is electronic and the other one is the physical one you're holding. But going forward, we see a situation because like as it is now, the eNaira is being introduced in phases. So for the first phase now, it's just payment. Like I said, services like payment person to person, merchant to person, or merchant to merchant at the moment. But going forward, we see a situation where in other phases where there's probably intervention by the government or intervention by central bank that paid in eNaira. Or if you go and secure a loan from your bank, you can ask the bank that I need this loan in eNaira because your account is linked to the wallet. Or after they credited your account with eNaira, you convert it to the eNaira, to the digital form. Thank you.
Okay. So let's move fast now, gentlemen. And this will include all of us, really, because as of now, most businesses have fintechs, payment platforms that they use. And I mean, you know them, there are lots of them. So I like all of us to discuss this because this is about the implementability of the eNaira vis-a-vis what we currently have in place, the various fintechs and payment platforms. Let me start with Mr. Gambo, then I'll take this round robin. What is the plan, really? Because today, businesses are using various payment platforms. The eNaira seems to offer speed, offers less costs, helps you to basically have a lean and mean business model. So what's the CBN's thinking? Are you planning to incorporate eNaira with the current fintechs and payment platforms, or what?
Yeah, yes, it is. As it is now, it's currently an engagement at an advanced stage with some fintechs and some payment service providers. And even e-merchants. Going forward, we'll see a situation where you can be able to buy something on Jumia and pay with your eNaira wallet. You can be able to recharge your phone using the eNaira. You can be able to buy data using the eNaira. You can be able to even buy ticket using the eNaira. So this is where we are at an advanced stage of discussion with payment service providers and the fintechs. And like I said, this technology has limitless boundaries. We hope to see the fintechs coming in with innovations, with initiatives that is going to drive the eNaira. We're open to that, and we're hoping to see that because, like my colleague here said, it's on the blockchain technology, and it's a technology that is very, very dynamic. So this is just the beginning. If you see the motto there, it says save Naira but more possibilities. So we hope to see a lot of innovations, and we love to see a lot of initiatives. So that is what we expect the MSMEs to leverage on. Like you said, a lot of them are using fintechs, they're using payment service providers. So with this platform, is still going to make their business more, they want to spend less for them to be part of it. So but one thing I know for sure is that this technology is just the beginning, and they're going to be a lot more. Thank you.
All right. So let me take this to Mr. Amian. By the way, there's a question still waiting for you, Mr. Gambo, on the platform, but we'll come back to it. So, Mr. Amian, that conversation about the current payment platforms and eNaira, how do you see the handshake happening and perhaps, the engagement?
Okay, yeah, thank you. So there are different payment platforms, and the increasing fintech the increasing fintechs in our nation today shows that there's something happening in that space. So I will just concentrate more on the payment options that are provided by these fintechs. So we have them in agency business, where you have different sub-agents all across the country, almost getting to 1 million right now. Then you have fintechs providing solutions to supermarkets, filling stations, restaurants, different sectors in the economy. Now, the question is, what do they have now, and how will eNaira come in? Today, they will provide solutions on use of card, USSD, NQR, and then transfers. There needs to be quick integration to eNaira, such that for every outlet, for every payment outlet by these fintechs, there will be an option for eNaira. Because if you look at the situation where almost bank users or everyone is already used to having eNaira on his or her mobile app, the next question will be, at payment options, they want to utilize that too, knowing that it's reliable and dependable. So the handshake here should be these fintechs adding the options in every outlet, in every payment options that they provide. Now, for super agent, for example, imagine I go to an agent's location, and instead of me doing bank transfers or using my card, I'm asking, let me use eNaira because it's almost 100% reliable. It's more or less like a wallet-to-wallet transaction, which hardly fails. I want to buy something in supermarket. The fintech have provided several solutions to this supermarket. It has the card option, it has the transfer options, it has the NQR options. And here I have my own eNaira on my mobile app. And I know how easy it is at zero cost to me. I want to use that option. So before consumers begin to push for it, I think fintechs have to take full advantage of it. It has to make it available. Let the supply be there so that the demand, don't let the demand push you to having it. So I think it's very necessary for the different fintechs we have right now, and they are increasing on a daily basis, to see the need to quickly plug to eNaira on the various payment options they have today, so that it can always meet customers' need.
Right. Gentlemen, we'll need to go to a quick break, right? If you're just joining us, this is a financial literacy public enlightenment series coming to you live from a network service of Radio Nigeria. I still have 4 gentlemen with me walking us through this process of transitioning to the eNaira. We'll be back after this break. I still have Mr. Hassan's response and Mr. Oyeledu. Then we'll take the questions on Zoom, on text messaging, and the phone call. So please stay with us. Well, welcome back to the Bankers Committee's Financial Literacy Public Enlightenment Campaign. We're on episode 2, and today we're discussing how you as a business owner can use the eNaira, that's Nigeria's digital currency, to scale up. There's so much possibilities in the eNaira, and we do not want you to miss it. Thanks to the great team at the Bankers Committee, we're breaking it down for you. So let's rejoin our discussants. They've been providing very valuable insight into how the eNaira can help your business. Mr. Zana Gambo from the Central Bank. We also have Mr. Dahosa Ibeh, who's the head of POS Business Banking Division of Fidelity Bank PLC, as well as Mr. Rashid Hassan, head of Business Jaiz Bank, and Mr. Oyeledu from Keystone Bank. So Mr. Hassan, if I could start with Mr. Oyeledu, so the conversation around fintechs, payment platforms, and how the eNaira changes the game or improves the game. Your thoughts? That's for Mr. Oyeledu, by the way. But while we're trying to reconnect, let's come to Mr. Ibeh. Right. So you were making a point before we went on that break, and I'd like you to also explore this further, because there's a thinking that in the future, just maybe fintechs might lose their place. What do you see happening?
Okay, thank you. It will only be fintechs that are not prepared for the future that will lose their place. The fintech space is continually evolving. And so if you don't, evolve along, you will surely lose your place. And that's why when products like this come out, the next question every fintech should ask is, how do I partner? So it's not about competition, it's about partnership and collaboration. So everything fintech should be thinking, how do I partner with this? The aim is not to frustrate me, it's not to kill my business. CBN will not do that for any, not even for banks. The aim is to see how the economy can improve. So if that being the aim, then the question is, how do I partner? And there's always a way. to partner with things like this. And CBN have made it easy for everyone to partner. If you come in as a fintech, oh, I'm into payment solutions. I provide different payment solutions. I want to include eNaira option in my payment solution. I think CBN will be glad to do that. I believe strongly that CBN will be glad to do that. So it's to quickly.
I love that point.
Yeah.
Pardon me. So you're saying that the sky essentially is large enough for everyone to soar and make the most of this.
Yes, exactly. Yes. Very, very true. Yeah.
Okay, so let's move forward. We're still going to be joined by our other discussants in Abuja. But I'd like you to speak to this again, just in case someone just joined us and they're wondering, okay, I own a business. I love the eNaira idea. By the way, there are a lot of users already, so you would not be the first, but it's important to, catch this moving trend. Can you just walk us through again, Mr. Imian, the process of getting your business on the eNaira platform?
Okay.
That's what Mr. Imian.
You mean, okay, all right. Thank you. First is to download the app from either Play Store or your App Store. I mean, iOS, any phone you use. Then you download the merchant eNaira. It's called Speed Wallet. There's a merchant version of it. You download that, and then the steps are a bit easy. I mean, very, very easy. You don't even need anybody to guide you through. Most time when I do facilitation on Onboarding, I just tell them, as I'm talking to you, just go to your Play Store, do this, and follow the steps. It will ask you to enter your details, personal details. Then there will be a time for you to select your bank account. Then an email will be sent to you for confirmation. And then, it links you to your mobile app, your bank mobile app. And then you fund your wallet. But the first thing is go to your Play Store, download the Speed Wallet, Merchant Speed Wallet, and then follow the prompt. It's as easy as ABC. Just imagine someone asking your name, your email, your account number, your preferred bank. That's all.
Straightforward, right?
Straightforward, very, very straightforward.
Okay, let's see if we can touch base with Mr. Gambo. Are you there now, Mr. Gambo?
Yes, I'm here. Go ahead.
Oh, great. So let's talk about this. This was a question that was put in before we went on the break. And it looks like every time we discuss the eNaira, this question keeps coming up. But for the benefit of our audience, let me just ask you. Olayinka Adebite has the question, what is the connection between eNaira and cryptocurrency? What is CBN's position on Bitcoins and other cryptos in the finance enclave? So that's for you, Mr. Gambo.
Okay, no. I thought the question, I hadn't called another name, so I wasn't sure.
Oh, right.
eNaira is a central bank digital currency. It's like your own Naira. It's like the Naira that is owned by the country, which is issued by the Central Bank of Nigeria as an act of parliament, which allows you to issue currencies. Although the cryptocurrencies and Bitcoins, I know the technology can be the same as the digital currency, but I think that's as far as any similarities between the two, maybe the kind of platforms that they are riding on. But they are not the same. Those ones are either investment, or they can be used as investment, and this is a regulated field. Is a Central Bank of Nigeria digital currency, is a country's currency. It's just like the Naira that is being printed and issued and is owned by the government of Nigeria. So they are not the same. They are not the same.
All right, thank you for that clarification.
Technologies can be the same, but that's as far as it goes. Yes.
Okay. So before we went on that break, I was going to take Mr. Oyeledu because I wanted to explore that conversation around fintechs and how the eNaira changes the game. But just to reiterate, really, Mr. Oyeledu, let's go back to that point and get your thoughts.
Okay, thank you, Kayode. talking about eNaira, I think we need to understand that this is a regulated currency. The same way I cannot influence the normal cash that you have, for it to have from holding 1,000 naira, I have no influence over it to make it worth 1,200 naira or 1,500. That's the same thing that applies to this digital currency. So we need to understand that it is regulated. It's just another form. It's an electronic cash, if I may say, that you can spend and you can use to exchange as far as business transactions are concerned. So in relation to fintechs, I believe fintechs are also out there. They are more like a bank also in some sort, and basically, I think eNaira is here to support their business because now the world is going electronic, and this is a currency that will help them probably fast track their business. I'm not a professional in fintech, but yes, it's all about technology, and we know that it's just a way to electronically transact. So eNaira has come for them. I think it's a major advantage to them to tap into, and I believe the central bank is also going to be in a proper sync with them to enable their businesses. That's my take for the fintechs.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Oyeledo. So we're coasting home gradually. We'll still have a few questions to take, but I just want to clear this out of the way. In terms of acceptability, really, because we've tried to talk about getting people on this moving train, but it looks like there also be some challenges in this uptake. And I'd like Mr. Gambo to speak to some of the perhaps fears that you've heard businesses or individuals express about the eNaira. What are some of those fears, and what is the assurance you have for Nigerians, business owners, regarding those fears they might have about the eNaira?
Yeah, the technology that the eNaira is riding on is very secure. The transactions will be very, very secure because everything is done on the platform. If you are doing a transaction on the platform, everything from the beginning to end is done on the platform. And the technology that is covering the security features of this is very, very secure. So their fears should be alleviated. There's not going to be any danger. And again, from the initial launch that we had on the merchant applications, there are some concerns that was raised by some of these merchants. At the moment, any time from now, we're going to bring out another version of the eNaira, and this has addressed virtually all the concerns that the merchants have raised with the previous one. An updated version of the application is coming out very soon, and there were some concerns that were raised by some of the big merchants in relation to having a sub-wallet, because their system is based in such a way that every branch, or rather every shop, can be a cash center, or rather any cashier's point can also be a service. So all those issues have been addressed with the new version of the eNaira that is coming out. So I believe they don't have anything to fear. Thank you.
And we can trust that that new version is coming out any moment, right?
Yes, it's coming out any moment. Yes.
Okay. Regarding limits now, because we've tried to capture MSM, that's micro, small, and medium. I know there's a smaller version, smaller than micro. I'm not exactly sure what that is, what that is called. But is there a limit to the transactions that can be done using the eNaira? I might be a vulcanizer, for example, and I mean, I don't earn more than 10,000 a day or 15,000, but I can also be maybe a restaurant owner, and I get in a lot of volume and all that. So are there limits, different tiers? And I think this speaks to one of the questions that was sent in.
Like one of my colleagues here answered, for the merchants, they don't have a transaction. But as a vulcanizer, if you're opening a consumer wallet at the moment, consumer wallets are tiered, and they have transaction limits from 0, tier 0, 1, 2, and 3. depending on what is the KYC that you have, either your bank or when you're opening the account, what are the documents that you're required to submit. So that should limit the volume and the value of transactions that you're going to have as a consumer. But as a merchant, as it is, there are no transaction limits, because what the system was looking at is like big merchants. We have big merchants today that do a lot of transactions in a day. If you are talking about supermarkets like the Sahad stores or ShopRite and the rest, the volume of transactions they do in a day is huge. So the merchant wallet does not have any tier and doesn't have a transaction limit. But however, if you are operating a consumer wallet, the consumer wallet has a transactions limit, of which once you get to our website, you see the difference limit and transaction limit for every tiered wallet that you operate at the moment. Thank you.
Thank you. It's good to have the benefit of the central bank here assuring us and giving us, the right information. I think that proves very useful here. Mr. Hassan, I know that as banks, you have this, the work to do in spreading the message to customers. You can also consume eNaira, depending on how you see it, but to customers and to businesses alike. And I'd like you to maybe shed some light as well on some of the challenges that you get to hear from your users and the rest, and how you try to allay those fears.
Okay, thank you, Kayode. For eNaira, what the banks have been doing presently is actually creating awareness around the initiative. And there are various contact lines, right from the contact center for customers who are actually calling to make inquiries about the eNaira. And if you go to actually the bank's website today, you have the eNaira there, displayed there, addressing various questions that customers may want to have answers to. So for customers, really, there's nothing to worry about. There's nothing to fear. In as much as when a new technology comes into play, people are usually skeptical. But for eNaira, once you go to the bank's website, go to the bank website to find out about eNaira. There are various FAQs there for you to go through, addressing some of the questions that a customer might have. Then they can also call in various contact centers as well to get to make inquiries on eNaira and probably get a response. So there's nothing really to fear when it comes to eNaira.
Okay, we'll take your word for it. Let me quickly take this question from Mrs. Afanga from Abuja. And I imagine Mr. Gambo will better understand how to approach this. Her question is, how can I join the eNaira onboarding merchant team? That's her question.
Question is he trying to onboard the eNaira merchant wallet? If that is the question, for eNaira merchant wallet, first you must have a corporate account with your bank. Because at the moment, the eNaira is leveraging on the account opening documentations and the KYCs that's carried out by the bank on their customers. So as it is now, at the moment, if you want to open a merchant wallet, first and foremost, you must have a corporate account with your commercial bank. If you have a corporate account with your commercial bank, then you can go ahead and download the application on the Play Store, and then you follow through the steps and complete your registration. That is how we tend to now join the platform as a merchant. But being part of the merchant team is something that I don't quite get what the question is saying. But if you want to onboard as a merchant, like I said, the system is leveraging on the bank's documentation that was done to their consumers. So you can open a merchant wallet once you have a corporate account. The bank that you have a corporate account with is going to be the bank you're going to tie into your wallet. You download the application, go ahead and complete the registration and become a merchant on the eNaira platform. Thank you.
Oh, great. I think this is a point that was reiterated earlier, that, the sky is big enough. So for the banks, the fintechs, the businesses. This is not essentially meant to render anybody moribund and all. But let me take this next question from Bapaji Musa, and this is via Zoom. Bapaji is joining us via Zoom. And the question is, I'm in a place where there is no internet access and being called to send my E-Naira wallet account. He asks that, can I get SMS alert for the transaction, or the alert will only be on my wallet email?
Okay, like I said, the new version is going to come out. We'll have features of notification. There'll be both some emails and SMS notifications. And in fact, it's also going to have USSD features too. So even if you're in a location where there's no internet services, you can be able to do transactions using USSD. So all these ones are features that are going to come up any moment from now. And the notification that's going to be sent out is going to be sent out both in SMS and it's going to be sent out in emails. So even if you don't have an internet service, you can be able to see the notification of the transactions you've done. And in fact, you can be able to even carry out transactions using USSD.
Okay, I hope that answers your question, Bapaji Musa. Essentially, there is so much possibilities in this one, so we don't want to be out of it. Abdurazak Bapa is asking the benefits of owning E-Naira wallet account. I think we've sort of exhausted this. Is there anyone we've not mentioned? Maybe the benefits, just in case he's just joining us.
Well, probably to buttress what we have said earlier, eNaira, we say it's a digital currency that it enables flexibility in terms of payment and instant settlement. You have security assurance. You have the eligibility of the federal government reaching out to you directly, like be it as a merchant or be it as an individual. So basically, this is a currency that will just allow you to operate digitally or electronically. That's the basics of the importance. And like my colleague here said, there are so many other features and benefits that are coming up with the new platform that is coming by eNaira.
Okay, I just checked my bank app and it's right there, eNaira. It's as easy as that. But let's take a call now. We have a call. Hello, good evening. Thank you for joining us on Financial Literacy Public Enlightenment Series. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Okay, I can't hear you. I don't know if you're not speaking up bold. We'll try to come back to you, hopefully, to get your question. Don't forget, you can call us on this number, 0705 149 3324. That's 0705 149 3324. You can also send us messages, your questions. We've been getting a lot of them on 0909 861 5403. Gentlemen, as we begin to wind down on this conversation, I'm glad we have tried to exhaust the benefits that are in the eNaira. And I see a lot of people want to really know why they need to jump on this. But there's also another fear I'd like Mr. Gambo to speak to, because there's a sense that, okay, is this government trying to be monopoly eventually? Because the thinking is this is domiciled in the central bank. And at the end of the day, that is what is going to happen. I'd like you to speak to that and perhaps the thinking of the CBN. That's for Mr. Gambo, by the way. Okay, we'll piggyback and come back to him in a moment. We seem to be having that challenge. But, well, we're winding down. I'd like to thank everyone for sending in those messages and for the calls. This is a Financial Literacy Public Enlightenment campaign coming to you live from a network service of Radio Nigeria. I call us the money team. Essentially, we give you the right information on how to scale up your business. I've been speaking with four brilliant gentlemen, Mr. Zana Gambo from the Central Bank, Mr. Dausa Imin, Fidelity Bank PLC, Mr. Rashid Hassan of Jaiz Bank, and Mr. Egwuonwu of Keystone Bank. This is brought to you by the Bankers Committee, and great work that is being done in that angle. Mr. Imin, you're still with us, so let me come to you. Or do we have Mr. Gambo back?
Yeah, we can hear you now. We're back.
Oh, great. So I was asking quickly about this fear that, the government wants to be the monopoly, they want to be the one you have to go through for every transaction and all of that. That's a fear that has been expressed time and again. Can you speak to that, please?
Yeah, there was a statement you made there that the sky is the limit and it's big enough to accommodate everybody. At least I'm here sitting now with my commercial bankers here, and they said they have been also sensitizing people on the eNaira. The eNaira is just an alternative. It's not taking over the payment platform. It's just to give you an alternative source of carrying out your transactions. Instead of carrying cash to go and do your transactions, you now do your transactions in your digital form. Instead of keeping physical cash in your wallet, you're now going to have your cash in a digital form. It's an alternative means of payment. It's not going to take over anything. There are several other payment platforms, like what you've also mentioned. You can do QR code, you can do USSD, you can do mobile banking. In fact, there's some level of transactions that you have to even use NEFT. Even the mobile banking, you can't be able to do those transactions on them, depending on the volume of the transactions you want to carry out. So it's just an alternative. It's not a means of taking over anything. But my banker colleagues are here to testify to that. Thank you. And
I can see they're all smiling. So this is not an adjurist. On a final note, let me get your closing thoughts, gentlemen. So I know where to call when I have issues with my transactions, right? So how do I go about this if I have issues with the eNaira transaction? Who do I go to?
Yes, now, since you've been onboarded through your financial institutions, usually if you have any issues depending on moving the eNaira from your wallet to your bank or from your bank to your wallet, you first and foremost go to your financial institution. Your financial institutions will address that, and if your financial institution has not addressed that within 48 hours, you can reach out to the help desk. There's an eNaira help desk. You can write an email to us, or you can call in. So once you go to the eNaira website, there are links there. They have phone numbers, they have contact number, you can call in. There's also an email you can send.
Right.
So you can escalate if your issues are not resolved by your financial institution.
Okay, I know Mr. Gambo has been taking all the questions today. Gentlemen, one sentence as we close on the eNaira. Mr. Imian.
Okay, thank you. I believe strongly that eNaira has come to stay. Yes, just like for every other product, you have one or two challenges, but it only makes it stronger. Look at when cards was introduced, even POS. Many people were shying away from it. But over the years, look at what has happened. Just look at the volume that occurs on POS on a daily basis today. It's in billions, running almost into trillions. So I think it's hard time we jump to it. Everyone.
Well, Mr. Hassan, Mr. Ayorinde, I imagine that he has just spoken for you. We're totally out of time, gentlemen, but we'll have to thank you for your intervention. It's been quite an enriching conversation. Mr. Gambo, Mr. Imian, Mr. Hassan, and Mr. Ayorinde, thank you for your time and have a wonderful evening.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Well, I'd like to thank the team, the production team here at Radio Nigeria. You've been fantastic. We have to run now, but we'll be back next week with another episode. Till then, I'm Kayode Okikiolu. Bye.